All right, good morning, everybody. Taking a long lunch, and I'm flying to Oshkosh. Hey, Jeff, how's it going, man? So I'm going to be connecting to the PilotEdge network. I'm just getting everything kind of set up here on my end. Let's go ahead and get connected. And I should be a black or a blue, I think it's a black Cessna for this flight.
Connected to PilotEdge.
All right. So I have read the NOTAM, and I'm going to pull it up on my other screen over here. And just make sure that I've got it ready to go. SimVenture, what do I want? I want PilotEdge, and where's the NOTAM? X-plane, NOTAM. Cool. So we are going to get this going so I can see what I'm looking at. I've done a full pre-flight. The plane is in flight-ready condition. We're good to go. And we're just going to go from Dane County Regional, which is in Madison, Wisconsin, up to Green Lake. This visual checkpoint right here. And the way that they have it set up, there is a hold around Green Lake going counterclockwise. So we're going to intercept Green Lake and then start our hold around the lake. If we are spaced out properly by the time we get to the east coast of the lake, which is right here where it says 975-22, we will continue to Ripon. And from Ripon, we will basically be going, well, I guess from the east side of the lake, we'll be going 90 knots at 1,800 feet, and from Ripon all the way to Fisk, and then we'll get cleared over Fisk into Whitman Regional Airport. So we will we'll see what goes on over there. I do have a couple of views set up here, so I got the over-the-shoulder view, and you can see what I'm seeing. I cannot see the chat or the screen. I guess I can't see this, and I can't see the chat while I'm flying. So that's going to be something similar, or something interesting. I've got my laptop over here. I'm going to be toggling between just to kind of see what's going on. You'll notice I'm using the Thrustmaster pedals. I'm flying barefoot today. Sorry, it's warm. And honeycomb alpha yoke, and then I've just got like a standard Logitech throttle quadrant over here. I got ForeFlight up on my iPad, which you guys can see on the screen, and the other views like this one, which is me flying. I'm probably not going to use this view very often, but I will use this one, so you can see kind of what I'm seeing on ForeFlight and what I'm doing. We'll also be able to see the chat. Anybody else who's chatting on Twitch or on YouTube, I can also just do the chat with the simulator and sim only. So I might be switching between these. If you guys want to see anything particular or specific, just let me know, and I'll swap over to that view for you. So we are currently at Wisconsin Aviation at Madison, Dane County Regional Airport. So we're going to go ahead and get powered on and get on our way. We'll do full mixture. And we'll get a battery on, beacon is on. We'll go ahead and get started here. Clear prop. Alright. Plane's going. Let's take a look at our RPM. Let's get rid of this thing. Up to about 1,000 RPM, and I'm going to lean the mixture for taxi. Doggy cam, he might actually come down and sit next to my legs, and if he does, I will 100% switch over to the doggy cam. Cool. Get our alternator on, get our avionics on as well. I've already got the air traffic control set up for the North Tower at Oshkosh, and I've also got approach, the Fisk approach controllers in here as well. I'm pretty much going to be swapping between the two. One is going to be listening, one is going to be actually talking. So I can only talk on COM 1, which is this one over here, so I might be managing COM 2 down here quite a bit. Now, if we switch back to my over-the-shoulder view, I am playing it on an ultra-wide, so there are going to be things on the screen that I'm probably looking at that you're not going to be able to see in the stream. So if I kind of pause, I'm going to try and talk you through everything that I'm doing as I'm doing it, but let's go ahead and get started. pull up the ATIS here at Dane County. I have not written down all of my frequencies or anything, so you'll have to bear with me while I act like a pilot who doesn't know what he's doing. We're going to go 124, 65.
Dane County Regional Information, India.
Alright, so we have India here.
Wind calm. Visibility 7.
We should be good to go. We're going to taxi to runway 36,
Dew point -7.
which is over
Altimeter 299.
here.
Arriving runways
So what we'll do is we will go from
32. Departing runways 36.
Wisconsin Aviation. We'll take Mike 3 to Charlie to Bravo,
Advise on initial contact.
and then Bravo to the 36 threshold. Or cool. Let's see, what is the CTAF here, just in case there's anybody else. 119.3. I don't think anybody else is here, but we'll get this dialed in anyway. 119.3. And I'll get my headset on. I've got 2 different audio sources. So let me know if you guys can't hear radios. I'll let you know when I can start hearing people. I can't hear any radios myself yet. So, and also let me know if the audio is good. First time flying with this kind of a setup, so I don't know what this sounds like. Alright. We've got our transponder set to VFR, altitude reporting, so we should be good. Dane County Cessna 733 Bravo Echo, taxiing from Wisconsin Aviation to runway 36, Dane County. We'll go ahead and unlock our speed brakes. Now, I'm not using VR or track IR, so we are going to have to be looking around with just our little hat here, which is going to be a little bit annoying, but... Ooh, that guy just did a wheelie. I did not want to introduce any potential issues by trying to do that. And what is this dude doing? Who knows? Alright, let's go to Mike 3, which is over here. Yeah, the text-to-speech, it's the ATIS. It's basically the weather for this airport. For some reason, I don't know why, but in X-Plane it's always been super quiet for me. It's basically giving us a weather report for the airport that we're at, and then it gives you a code. So in this case it was India, and then that way when you're requesting takeoff, if you're talking to a tower, you can let them know that you have the current weather. You give them your code, and they know that you're current. All right, let's see.
Runway 1432.
Final looks clear. Runway looks clear.
Runway
and the other side looks
1432.
clear as well. We're going to go ahead and cross. Dane County, 3 Bravo Echo is crossing runway 32, Dane County. Just making our calls. Alright, we'll get our taxi and nav lights on. Probably should have gotten those on before I started taxiing. And here's taxiway Bravo. Go ahead and make our left turn towards runway 36. Go ahead and do an external view here. I'm flying a Cessna 172 from Dane County to Whitman Regional, which is where Oshkosh is. This year we're doing SimVenture. There is
Dane County traffic, Cessna 1 Hotel Romeo taking runway 32 for departure to the north, Dane County.
Oh, there we go. We got another Cessna over there actually taking off here from Dane County. He's doing the runway 32, which is kind of nice. That's kind of fun. You can see him off there in the distance, taking the runway. So let me know if you guys heard that radio call. You should have. Yeah, James, this is the plane that I would be flying IRL. So this is very, very similar to the plane that I'd be flying in real life. Was it very loud? Okay, let me adjust the volumes here on OBS. And I'm not maintaining very good centerline discipline here, but it's because I'm trying to do 18 things at once, which is why they say focus on flying and not on anything else. Alright, cool. So let me know the next time you hear... Dane County, can you do another radio check, please?
5 by 5.
Alright, perfect. I'm adjusting audio for stream. One more time, please.
Here you 5 by 5.
Perfect, thank you.
Dane County traffic, Cessna 1 Hotel Romeo departed runway 32, turning northbound.
Alright, how was that, everybody? I'm not getting my oh, sometimes it doesn't show traffic when it's right next to you. Okay. We'll check. He should pop up on my my flight here in just a bit. Probably when I get airborne. Pop back into my cockpit. We're approaching runway 36. And my centerline discipline here is terrible. I'm going to skip doing a run-up. I'm going to assume that the simulator plane is going to be fine. However, if I were doing this for real, this is where I would pull off to the side and just check the engine, make sure all of the gauges, indications, ammeter, and all the power systems looked fine. Make sure that it wasn't running rough or anything, and then we would continue. We're going to hold short here on runway 36, check final. I don't see anybody there. Nobody is on my flight screen. So we'll make our call and we will continue. Dane County, Cessna 733 Bravo Echo, taking runway 36 for north departure. Dane County. We'll get our landing and strobe lights on. Sorry, not taxi
Runway
lights.
36.
And we're going to climb up to 3,500 feet.
8,900 feet remaining.
For our en route altitude to Green Lake. And then once we get closer to Green Lake, we will descend and join that hold at 1,800 feet at 90 knots. Alright, mixture rich. And we'll full throttle here. A little bit of right rudder to counteract some of that left turning tendency. Airspeed's alive, there's a rotation speed, we will rotate. Take off, we'll do a VY climb, so about 75 to 80 knots ish. Kind of trim for that. And passing 1,000 feet up to 3,500. Let's see if that guy popped up on our screen yet. Nope, not quite. Now, the difficult thing with simulators in particular is all the controls are super touchy. So when you introduce trim, you usually introduce quite a bit at once because it's a digital click as opposed to like an analog wheel. In the actual Cessna, you would just spin this wheel down here and you can do really, really fine-tuned adjustments. Not very feasible in a simulator environment. See, let me grab the... Also, when you're looking, like, if I let the yoke go, it actually kind of naturally turns the plane to the right, and so I always have to put in a little bit of left yoke to keep the plane straight. So if I start veering off to one way or the other, I'm blaming the controls, not myself. Let's see, 108.6 is the VOR that I want, so we're going to do some navigation here, and I want to be on about the 017 radial, which is already plugged in here. So we'll start our right turn. We're over 500 feet. How long is the flight time? It's about an hour. It's about 30 minutes to get there, and then depending on how busy it is, it can be up to an hour. So I'm expecting this to be about an hour-long flight. I'm not not seeing any traffic on my flight here, so maybe that's not working. I'll go double check that. So there we just intercepted the radial. We'll turn back on course. We're gonna have overshot it just a bit. Let's recenter on our plane here. 030 is a little bit too much. To the right still. Point this way. Cool, cool. So now that we're out, I'm gonna wait until we're outside of that the inner ring for that airport. And we're at 2,500, climbing to 3,000, so we got 1,000 feet to go. Once we get outside of that inner ring, I'll switch frequencies to the Oshkosh approach. Awesome, James. Yeah, that works. So go ahead and level myself out again. I think it's 120.7 will be my next frequency. So I'm going to go ahead and get that programmed in. 120.7 should be Fisk approach. And we're good to go. So you'll notice the VOR over here. Can you guys see the mouse? I'm curious. You'll see the VOR here. I'm re-intercepting the course, and then once I get back on course, I'll kind of turn to maintain it. Put this about right there. Thanks, James. I'll try to avoid the SAMs. Yeah, Richard, I could totally turn on the autopilot. Just kind of want to old school this and hand fly it. Makes it more exciting. Although I guess if I'm down in my lap, popping the autopilot on wouldn't be so bad. Alright, 100 feet to our altitude that we want to be at, 3,500. We'll start gently leveling off. Climb that last 100 feet slower. Let the airplane build up a little bit of speed. I'm also going to do mixture control here. Looking at my exhaust gas temperature, which is down here. Probably behind ForeFlight. You guys probably can't see it. Let me do that. So exhaust gas temperature, sorry, is over here on the left, and fuel flow. Watching those as I'm leaning it out. Now I'm blowing through my altitude as I'm talking. So we'll sit here at 3650, and we'll get configured. Then I'll descend back down to 3,500.
Madison traffic. Bonanza 258, Charlie Bravo, departing runway 32 to the northeast. Madison.
Alright, so we got somebody coming up behind us, which is awesome. I'll go ahead and dial in about 2,400 RPM. My mixture looks a little bit good. I'm going to enrich it just slightly, get it a little bit more rich of peak. And I'll start trimming out my level flight. Heading still looks okay. I might want to kick it over to the left a little bit, and I'm going to descend just very slightly here. Get back down to 3,500. And honestly, I'm close enough to the radial that I want to be on that it's not that big of a deal. Let's see, if I wanted to, I could just click on my heading autopilot. I could also do altitude. I actually like doing vertical speed and doing +0. It seems to work a little bit better for me. Altitude hold never really works. And then I can actually just say, hey, I want to go down at 200 feet per minute, get back down to 3,500. Adjust my RPM just a little bit here. 2,400 RPM, watching my altitude. And on ForeFlight, looks like we are doing well. Slowed up to 1.
Madison traffic, Bonanza East, Charlie Bravo, departing the pattern to the northeast.
And vertical speed 0, 3,500 feet. And looks like we are good. I'm going to adjust the heading bug a little bit to the left. Just looking at ForeFlight, we're kind of slightly pulling away from that radial, so I want to kind of straighten up and line back up with it. Yeah, the trim and everything in these simulators, I'm not super happy with. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Alpha yoke is awesome. I love it. It's the best yoke I've ever used. Not a plug for them because I'm not getting paid by them or anything, but it blows the Logitech and the CH products out of the water. That being said, it's still, I don't know, maybe it's a dead zone issue, maybe it's just the simulator over modeling the slipstream that goes around the airplane and, you know, adds a little bit of right turning tendency. I guess left turning tendency, but when you're in the air, it's kind of like a roll to the right. So definitely something that you have to get used to for sure. All right, let me switch back over to here. And then y'all can see some of the chat. Right now, we're quite literally just on course, 3,500 feet, en route to Green Lake, visual checkpoint. Once we get there, we will enter our counterclockwise patterns. We're going to turn to the right. We'll descend down to 1,800 feet. And what I'm going to do real quick is check and see if this is reporting traffic. Let me check the iPad and see what the see if my IP changed. So you guys are going to see that for just a second. That would be the only reason that had an issue. Let's do no, IP is the same, so I should be getting traffic from PilotEdge, but I'm not. So I guess it's just VFR. My ADS-B is not working, everybody. Oh, there we go. Ha! Now, okay, fine. Guess I just had to reload PilotEdge. Reload ForeFlight. Alright, so we got 501 Hotel Romeo in front of us, 500 feet below, so he's at 3,000 feet. And then behind us we got 258 Charlie Bravo. He's at 3,500 like me. Looks like we got a couple of other people down here on the ground, just getting started. So this is pretty cool. Not going to complain. I actually came on and tested this last night. There were a few people just doing some VFR callouts, basically treating Whitman like it's a unmanned airport, untowered, which was fun. It was a good night. This is my first time flying to Oshkosh. I've been to Oshkosh. I did not fly. I commercial rode out and visited a friend who lived in Madison, so I've actually been to Dane County Airport. Had a pretty fun time there at an air show the day before Oshkosh, but I've never flown into the actual event, so this is going to be my first time. I really do like the simulator experience, even though it's not, you know, perfect. It's not. It's also less stressful. If I make a mistake here, yeah, anybody who's watching the stream live or anybody who watches it later can roast me for it. But I'm not putting anybody else at risk. Not that I would think that I would have any issues, you know, as a pilot coming in, but I also don't feel like this is going to be as busy as the real Oshkosh is. And I might be wrong. We'll see. We'll see the closer I get. So how are y'all doing? Having a good Tuesday? I was lucky enough that I didn't have anybody scheduled on my calendar between 11 and 1, so figured I'd pop on this inaugural day, take it for a spin, see what it's like, and I'll probably end up doing this again on Saturday, Saturday. I think it's Saturday morning. I'll pop back on, see if it's more busy. I'm assuming that the weekdays are going to be a little bit more laid back, and then the closer to the weekend we get, the busier it'll get. So again, pop over my shoulder. This is my setup. I've got a honeycomb yoke. Absolutely love it. I've got my microphone here in front of me, of course. You guys are seeing, since I'm toggling between the different views, I didn't hook up my Stream Deck, so I'm not able to quickly switch between the different views, but got my wide monitor here, which runs X-Plane fine. I'm getting 43 frames a second at ultra wide on basically max graphics, which is Vulkan is amazing. Got my iPad over here with ForeFlight on it. You guys can see ForeFlight repeated up onto the screen, and then my Thrustmaster TPR pedals, which, I mean, these are the closest I've ever been able to get to real-world pedals, and you'll notice that I am putting rudder in. If you look down here at my turn coordinator, if I took all my rudder out, it would kind of float the plane over. So I am maintaining coordination manually. There's no rudder trim on this bad boy. But yeah, having a good time. Then I'm just using a basic Logitech. The Bravo quadrant hasn't come out for the honeycomb yoke yet, so as far as my throttle quadrant, it's just the Logitech throttle quadrant, which works great, actually. That's like one of the only products that I like from Logitech. It works pretty good. Can't wait for the honeycomb version, though. That's going to be amazing. How about y'all? Have any of you guys flown into Oshkosh? I'd be interested to hear about that. And let's see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap over to Fisk Approach.
On runway 36, you'll be in left base over Fisk Avenue. Time to put you out and assign your runway on the base. You'll be going either 36 left or right.
Alright. And then what I'll do down here...
Cherokee, I missed my runway assignment. These are me. What's your call sign? 516 Tango Tango.
5.9 is the ATIS. Get that plugged in. We're not going to listen to it yet, but we will. And then I'm going to assume that I'm going to be landing on 27, so I'm going to switch over to...
Cherokee, 2 runway pods, start that right turn now, please, for Fisk Avenue. There you go. So you turn in, and Tango Tango, where are you at? Holding the railroad 27 miles, 2 miles north of Fisk.
118.5. And assume that I'm getting 27. And if not, I will switch to 126.6.
I don't see north of Fisk. I've already talked to you. You've already wrecked your wing.
Alright, here's...
The Cherokee that made the base turn now. Thanks for your help. You can monitor tower 126.6. Welcome, Oshkosh.
Here's where the fun is starting. We've got several planes coming in. You can actually see on ForeFlight. We've got the one in front of us, and then we've got 2 off to the left, and then... November 16 Bravo is going to be kind of behind us all. Yeah, James, I don't know how many pilots are doing this today specifically, although you can see on my ForeFlight screen here, there's quite a few people over the lake in their hold. So when we get there, we're going to start kind of working our way in and figuring out our separation. So our separation should be a half-mile behind at 1,800 feet. I'm probably going to start my descent here right over that little, right next to November 501 Hotel Romeo. There's that little lake to the left. I'm probably going to start my descent right about there. You can see Green Lake up there. I can see a couple of lights out there. And then we got this guy behind us coming up. He's coming pretty fast. He's caught up with me, so he might actually overtake me, which is fine. Yeah, James, it's actually happening today, tomorrow, Thursday, and then I think Saturday. It might be Friday as well. The schedule's online. Alright, here we go, back into the cockpit. I'm gonna start my descent now, and what I'm gonna do is actually just look down, and since we're doing autopilot, we'll do this 500 feet per minute descent. I'll pull back my throttle a little bit. And I'm going to slow myself down to 90 as well. Yeehaw, look at this. Yeah, if you go to, I think it's pilotedge.com/pages/SimVenture. I think that'll have the information for what days this is going on and what times, the random times, kind of blocks of like 3 or 4 hours. But this is basically the best we're going to get for Oshkosh. So over on the, let's see, on the iPad you can see all of the little indicators of where everybody is. And you can see the +7, the -10, whatever the numbers are. That's the altitude in relation to me. So November 16 Bravo to my west is 700 feet above me. If you look up ahead of me, there's a bunch that are about 900 feet below me. Slow ourselves down here again, get down to about 90 knots, and looking for traffic. I've got a bunch of lights over the lake, and so I'm going to try and sequence myself in amongst them. We're at 2,300, going down to 1,800. 1,800 is the approach altitude.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
2,000 feet, coming up on 1,800. We should be able to slot in right behind this huge group of people, which will be nice.
Terrain ahead.
Go away.
Got a blue and white Bonanza reflector on something. It's going to be a twist.
There's no terrain ahead of me. Alright, here we go. Getting to 1,800 feet. I'll start slowing up my descent.
Terrain ahead.
I'm also going to increase my speed here.
Start a right turn. There you go. I see it now. Thank you very much. Start a right turn. Join this guy at the left base for runway 36 left and right. And tower will find the runway. Nice job on that turn. Come on the tower on 1926.6.
Obstacle ahead.
Alright, I need to turn off that terrain. Cancel our autopilot, and we will start our right turn to enter the hold. I see several lights up ahead of us. James, I think they're just doing these approaches. I don't think that they're doing any kind of simulated air shows or anything like that. I'm gonna actually pull out some footage that I took when I went to Oshkosh a couple of years ago and edit those into vlogs for this week, since I never did them a couple of years ago, and see if I can get that going. All right, just gonna kind of follow these guys in to maintain 1,800 feet, and going a little fast here, but I'm also reducing my RPM so that I can maintain 1,800. I'm just going to turn on my vertical speed. Let's change my heading here. Should have done that first, I suppose. Go this way. Vertical speed, I want to be 0. Gotta love it. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. It's way easier to manage speed and altitude in a real plane. But now that we're kind of set up, I'm going to cancel autopilot and continue hand flying. So we got somebody coming in behind us. Looks like he's getting a bit close, but I believe I'm a black and white Cessna.
Nice job on the run for the band. There is a Cessna below you, so we keep you up higher on the runner jump 2726.
Let's monitor the ATIS. Whoa.
9 o'clock. 2 miles. Same altitude. Station ATIS is 125.9.
And the annoying bit about this is you can't control the volumes individually without going into the settings. Otherwise, I would have turned down the.
Anybody inbound on Oshkosh, make sure you're joining the arrival outside of Ripon and follow the railroad tracks inbound from Ripon at 1,100 feet and 90 knots. We'll do that from 2,300 feet and 135 knots. We're thinking that type of color about a mile southwest of this. Got the circling over Green Lake, so that's going to be where you want to head towards so you can find somebody following.
And this guy, November 424 Tango Sierra, should be joining. Well, I guess he's okay. He just has to. I guess we got to watch out for conflict here because he's basically beelining towards me. Where is he? He's at 1,100 feet above me, so he's going to come in and descend, which is fine. We'll kind of take a look and see if we can see him.
Good, welcome, Cherokee. You are going to continue for railroad tracks from 27 downwind to the 85 to ground six, and tower frequency will be 118.5. You can monitor them now. Welcome to Oshkosh.
Obstacle ahead.
Stop it.
Inbound for Oshkosh, we're running runway 27, stage 15 in Monroe, and runway 36, stage 19 in Monroe, to both of those landing, and we'll find that to you about a mile southwest of this.
Obstacle ahead.
Color at that point, measure 1,100 feet, 90 knots. That between 2,300 feet and 135 knots. So they're going to lose here for 2,300 or a mile and a half.
Obstacle ahead.
Nice, welcome, Pierce. You can start your descent now for me, and you're going to be going to runway 36. And I'll call your turn in just a moment. There's a Cherokee just over 6 and 127.
There we go. Now it shouldn't yell at me for obstacles.
Go ahead and start that right turn now. And I see you kind of, that's great. 1,900 and you can join the Avenue. Let's make that, yeah, I got you on the right turn now. Get them on a tower on 126.6
Alright, so 177 Golf Whiskey is going a bit slow. We're going 90, he's going less than that.
Cherokee, about a mile southwest of this. Need a good rock, this is a 20-degree rock forming, so I can see it. And need everybody's landing lights on so we can see it, and transponders on. Looks like maybe a 9 or 5 Juliet. Can you back to range for me, please?
Maintain visual separation. I shouldn't be overtaking him, but he's...
So 9 or 5 Juliet, you can talk to me there, frequency.
kind of lagging. Got somebody no radio. Join here over the railroad tracks.
o'clock, 2 miles, 1,100.
That's the guy in front of me. Flying over. No, Aviz, this is PilotEdge actually. Look at the railroad tracks. There's that a road below me. Just make sure that we're over the railroad tracks and not that road.
You guys are inbound from the south. Make sure you're joining the procedure outside of Ripon, southwest of Ripon. We'll pick you up by type and color as you fly the railroad tracks at 1,800 and land it up.
Yeah, it totally does need a bat, doesn't it? Alright, here we go. So you'll notice the spacing. Everybody's flying in at about 3,000 feet. So they're all about 1,100 feet above us.
Westbound, just make sure you hold your officers are settled below the over the railroad tracks in down Oshkosh. Got can't see the color, about a mile and a half southwest of Springfield. Your number 1 line.
Oh, hello. Somebody blown by me.
And keep you on the rail tracks runway 27, right downwind, inside the ground set for runway 27. We're just flying over.
So, I think what I'll do.
Traffic, 2 o'clock, 2 miles. Traffic, 11 o'clock, 2 miles, 1,100 feet
I'm gonna slow
above.
myself down.
Good job on the right system. Start right turns on the eastbound, strike 6th Avenue for left space for 136. The Cessna against 27 over 5th, getting on our tower now, 118.5. Got a Cherokee, the blue and white Cherokee, mile southwest flip, stop the lens. Nice job on the rim, Cessna. As soon as the left is the 36 on our tower on 126.6, welcome to Oshkosh. Cherokee, blue and white Cherokee, see you rocking, nice job. Continue the railroad tracks for 27. Keep your downwind inside the gravel pit, and she'll call you out on the downwind. You can on our tower on 118.5. Welcome to Oshkosh. Hello from Morgan. Hello from Jeff.
I'll just let this guy get ahead of me a little bit, then I'll increase my speed. So for speed, you got to reduce your RPMs and then pull back on the yoke to maintain level flight, and that'll slow you down.
Outside your house there. Yeah, the market, some of that, the garage.
And then the opposite to speed back up. You increase throttle and level off.
Bravo is current at Oshkosh. Who's your call? Also the 2992. We're right now on 27, page 15 in the notes, and 36 left and right, page 19 in the notes. And just 1,800 feet and 90 knots directly over the railroad tracks. Make sure you leave the half mile trail as the person is following. Pick you up by type and color about a mile southwest of us.
Slow down just a little bit more. Get a little bit more spacing again. Go about 87 knots. That should be good. I think that's the guy in front of me. Yep, that's him. Nice drop in altitude.
That's right on the orange stuff. Now, what runway would you like? 2736.
This is 27.
The runway 27, the orange Cessna, just continue up the railroad track, and keep the downwind inside the gravel pit. We'll call you out by type and color on the downwind. Where you flying in for today?
Weber Lake, Minnesota.
Very nice.
Yeah, he was pretty rude, Jeff.
Orange Cessna 27, come on in town now, 118.5. For the blue Cessna, a mile southwest, behind the orange Cessna, we're turning from the please.
Rock.
Truck on the blue Cessna, start a right turn for me. You're going to enter left base for runway 36. Just make your base right over the east-west road. And you can run our tower on 126.6. That's the make it turn now. Thank you.
Go 126.6. And swap over to the tower.
Red Cessna over the interstate, you with me? Rock your wings for me. There you go. Over the interstate now. It'll be runway 36 right. 36 right. You're cleared to land on the red square. You keep it all the way up to the red square. Clear to land. And runway 36 to the left. Cleared for takeoff. Make sure that right turn comes out of for the control
Fisk Avenue, 36 left, right. Just south of it. Alright, and then... standard base, 36 left to right. Got my dots here so I'll know which one I'm going for. Let's see, what is the altitude of the airport? I'm assuming... no, the airport. Surface 3,000. Details, give me details. No, I don't want the airspace, I want the airport. The elevation is... this is why you brief this beforehand. Elevation 800, so I want to be at 1800, so we are descended, we're good for our approach.
Approaching runway 36 left, you ready to go?
It's a twins, that's not me.
Beautiful. Runway 36 left. Clear for takeoff, thanks for jumping.
I'm going to slow down to my white arc so that I can deploy flaps once I get clearance. All lights are on, mixture is rich. Undercarriage is down and welted. Seatbelts are on. Should be good to go. Let's see if we get 36 left or right. Which dot or square we're going to get. Here's the interstate. They should be calling me right about now. Trim out some of that back pressure.
I fly with my little eye. Like a blue Cessna over the interstate now, rock the wings for me. A blue Cessna over the interstate now, rock the wings.
I'm rocking.
There you are, I see you, thanks. It's highway over the interstate, it'll be runway 36 right, runway 36 right, clear land on the red square.
Red square, second square. Alright.
And aircraft holding short runway 36 left there. What's your aircraft type?
Red Bonanza V10.
Whew. That came up on me pretty quick. Let's go ahead and go full flaps since we're so close. Go idle.
What's your tail number?
8834 Romeo.
We'll line up here and we'll look for that red square.
Just make sure your transponder's on for me.
I got the red square. Introduce a little bit of power.
Now I can see November 8834 Romeo. And 36 left, clear for takeoff. Thanks for stopping by. Come back to you.
And we'll trim it for the red square. Should be green square, red square. Yep. Confirmed. Get a little bit more power here.
And step into runway 35 right on the red square. You're looking really good. Thanks for help.
12 o'clock, 2 miles, 200 feet below.
Runway 36 left. You ready to go?
Roger, we're ready.
Outstanding. Red 36 left, line of wait. I'll be out here in just a second.
Start reducing our power. And let's see how close we can get to this red square. Start our transition. And
Clear runway 36 left. Clear for takeoff. Come back to you.
there we go. We'll do it. Flaps up. I would open the window now if I were in real world. Now they want a high-speed taxi to the end here. Then we're going to turn onto 3-1 and then onto 2-3. Thanks, Jeff. Now here's Alpha 2. So we're going to high-speed taxi up here to 3-1, and then turn left on 3-1. So this is actually generally a taxiway.
Driving Fisk Avenue transition. Left base, runway 36 left, 36 right. It'll be page 19 of those. We'll usually pick you up right about the interstate and have your landing instruction and clearance for you there. Departing aircraft should be page 23. 23 on those. Big to keep in mind there. All right-hand turns out of before the control tower. Maintain VFR out of below 1,000.
Runway 13, 31.
Airspace on that 150 heading. Appreciate everybody stopping by Oshkosh. Have a great day. Altimeter down 2992. Wind calm. Beautiful day today.
Runway 13, 31.
We'll turn left here. We'll make another left on runway 23, which is right here.
Reaching runway 05, 23. Entered runway 05, 23.
And then we'll continue down to taxiway Papa, and then our parking will be on the right-hand side of taxiway Papa.
I got a red Cessna coming up on final runway 36 left. Go ahead and make straight in for runway 36 left. Clear to land on the yellow dot. 36 left, yellow dot.
And welcome to Oshkosh, everybody. This is very, very similar to what it looked like when I was here a couple years ago. And yeah, it brings back a lot of memories, and that was fun. That was a good time. So parking is over here to the right.
Over the interstate, I see you there. Looks like low wing anyway. Over the interstate, rock your wings.
I'll just go find a spot, and
There's Tex, that's a nice rock. I see you.
welcome to Oshkosh, everybody.
Left base, runway 36 left. On the yellow dot, clear land.
That was a lot of fun. I absolutely love the TPR pedals.
Interstate right now, rock your wings.
Very, very close to real world pedals. So if you fly in the real world, you fly Cessnas or Pipers or anything like that, general aviation, they feel very, very similar. They are a little bit light to the touch, like they're not super stiff.
Inside the interstate now. Can you hear me? Rock your wings, please.
However, it's the best feeling I've ever gotten.
You're going to be runway 36 left on the yellow dot, clear to land. The trailing Cherokee. Rock your wings.
Alright, so we'll do this, and we'll take a look, and looks like we're parked fairly well, maybe a little bit over the cone, but I'll fix that with my nose wheel. I got a clamp, I'll just kind of rock it, you know, because moving things on grass is super easy. Yeah, guys, the scenery is awesome, the controllers were a lot of fun to work with, and this looks very, very accurate for when last time I was here. Let's see, we were... So I was staying at a friend's house, but we were in this campground right over here.
Second Cherokee, you're on frequency, go around.
This guy right here.
Right traffic.
And then let's see if I can figure out how to...
Inside the numbers. Bearing inside the number, pardon me, inside the interstate, rock your wings for me, please.
See if I do this. Now I have control of the
Bearing,
camera.
thank you. I see it'll be runway 36 left, clear to land on the yellow dot, yellow dot. Cherokee on the go around, make right traffic, just make standard traffic pattern. I'll have your landing instructions for you here.
There we go.
Take that right crosswind turn now, that'd be fantastic.
Alright, so since we're on the ground, I'm going to turn down the radios. And then we'll just go and look around and see what people are doing. Got some guy landing right here in front of us. I don't... Yeah, just sitting on the ramp with the engine running. Just want to make sure that, you know...
Low wing, there you are. Yep, I see you. Thanks. Good wing rock. It'll be left base, only 36 left. You can turn straight for the numbers now. That'd be fantastic. Cleared to land on the yellow dot.
Let's see how close this guy gets to the yellow dot.
Cherokee, just south of the numbers, it'll be runway 36 right. 36 right, clear to land on the red square. And
I'm not seeing him, though.
Lance there, that's going to be straight ahead of you. And he's going to be on the yellow dot. Make sure you don't cross final.
Alright, so let's do this. I'll switch back to over the shoulder, and we'll go ahead and we've got our throttle idle. We'll pull our mixture back, and well, let's turn our avionics off first. You guys will still be with me, and we'll get the lights off as well. Don't need them. Leave the beacon on, and we'll cut our mixture. And battery off and keys off. So, cool guys, welcome to Oshkosh. I'm going to make sure my wheel brake is on and then just kind of set up a little observation post outside. Let's see here. We'll get out and we will take a look at what's going on here at Oshkosh. I'm going to pop out and just kind of hover over the runway and see who we can see coming in. I think that'd be kind of fun to do. And we don't need ForeFlight anymore. I will leave the chat window up and let's go take a look. And then let me see, is there a quick way to transition forward? Is shift? Yeah, shift is going to work. Perfect. Is he doing red square? Nice. Nice landing. So what we can also do, let me take a look at ForeFlight and see where people are coming from. A lot of people look like they're... Oh, not too much coming in. Looks like we hit the rush. Oh, never mind. Yeah, a lot of people coming in on 27. 2 more people coming in on the 3.6s. What I can do is, let's do this. You guys can see what I'm seeing. And then we'll do something like here. And let me see how that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty good. You guys got the purple dot and the green square. Maybe if I turn it just a bit like this. Those guys are more centered. James, you can definitely take off again. There is, and yes, Jeff, I'm flying an illegal drone right now. You can definitely take off again, and there's actually a procedure for your departure. So when you're taking off, you basically turn right before you get to the tower. So on the 3.6s anyway. Well, you only take off on 3.6 left. We got the one guy over there coming in. You can see him on final. We'll track him. You would take off and before the main control tower, which I'll turn and take a look at once this guy kind of comes in. We'll follow him in. Looks like he might be going to the yellow dot. And we're not hearing ATC anymore because we turned the radios off. I could turn the battery back on in avionics.
Cessna
There we go.
With the good wing rock, I did see it. Thank you. Make straight for the numbers now. Runway 36 left. And clear to land on the yellow dot.
So there's the tower over there, control tower off in the distance. As long as you have to take off and start your turn before you get to the tower. So basically like that blue dot at the end of the runway, that area. And then you turn to a heading of 150, which is not quite south. You're actually taking off a little bit southeast, so kind of this direction.
Landing aircraft coming in 36 left, 36 right, high speed taxi all the way to the end. We're going to have an aircraft coming right behind us. Make sure you keep your speed up all the way to the end. Page 22 and the NOTAMs for taxi instruction or departure information. Departure information.
So
Page 23 in the NOTAMs information. Bravo current. Altimeter 2992. Wind call now.
this ring right here, this airspace, is basically the border. Once you climb up to 1,300 feet and you head off on a 150 heading. So like this until you get outside of the airspace and you stay just below 1,300 feet. Once you're outside of the airspace, you can climb and then go on course, which means just go whichever direction you need to go back out. So I could take off, head, and I understand the reference to buzzing the tower. I Top Gun it would be a lot of fun, but you would take off, you'd head out basically to get out from underneath this airspace at this airport, and then you could totally just go back to the lake if you wanted to rejoin and do another approach. I don't have time for that. My lunch break is almost over. But yeah, we took off. We got here. Took us about an hour all told. Pretty cool.
And Cessna 21 Mike, runway 36 left, cleared for takeoff. We'll see you, buddy.
We'll take a look at more traffic coming in. So we got a couple more planes. I should probably go and look up the X-plane camera controls and see if I can get some better control Just not sure what is available to me here. So interstate is over here. There should be a plane somewhere in this area. I probably can't see him. It probably does distance. No, there's a guy. There we go. Here we go.
Looks like we got a green low wing over the interstate now. Rock your wings for me.
There's the rock.
Low wing aircraft over the interstate. Rock your wings.
Yeah, the tower is probably sitting. They're probably sitting in the tower and making this very real, which is why they're not.
Over the interstate right now. Rock your wings, please. There you go. I see it. Thanks. Low wing. It'll be runway 36 left. Runway 36 left. Clear to land on the yellow dot.
Yeah, this is really fun.
All aircraft disc arrival. Stay over that highway. Left base 36 left. 36 right. We'll pluck you out on your left base. And we'll have your landing instructions for you there. 90 knots, gear down, lights on so we can see you. That's a great help. High-speed taxi all the way to the end, page 22 for your taxi instruction.
So yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll put the link to.
Side by side, no overtakes. Make sure the tail of the aircraft in front of you stays in front of you. And we'll do our best to get you in as quickly and safely as we can.
Go ahead and put a link to the SimVenture page in the YouTube chat.
36 left, I'll have you out of here in just a moment.
In case anybody else wants to give this a shot.
I've got two aircraft side by side now over the interstate. First one looks like an orange Cessna, an orange high wing. Rock your wings for me.
Let's see if we can follow this guy in.
Orange high wing, I see you now. You're going to be runway 36 right. Make straight for the numbers for runway 36 right and clear to land on the red square. Trailing aircraft looks like a low wing, maybe a Bonanza. Rock your wings. Bonanza, I see you. Thanks. That's a good rock. It'll be runway 36 left, clear to land on the yellow dot.
I don't remember which dot he was given.
After landing, high-speed taxi all the way to the end, page 22 for your taxi instructions and the NOTAMs, page 22. Information Bravo current, altimeter 2992, wind calm. Beautiful day. Welcome to the show, guys.
I hope it wasn't the yellow. Oh, okay, so it just didn't catch up. Anyway, yeah, this is great. Thanks for joining me on the stream.
Looks like you overshot final a bit. If you need to go around.
Let me go ahead and get the SimVenture information in the chat box here. It is pilotedge.net/pages/SimVenture. And there you all go. It should be popping up in at least the stream. So if you want to go and take a look at the NOTAM, it is on the page. There's one for X-Plane 11, one for FSX or Prepare 3D, Prepared. And they have all of the procedures. It's 36 pages, but it's basically broken up into 3 sections. So it's like, what do you do for your approach? What do you do if you're landing on runway 27? And what do you do if you're landing on runway 36? I guess it's like 4 parts. And then there's one whole part on the departure sequence. So yeah, if you're interested, if that's something that you would be, if you would like to, come in and give SimVenture a try, I recommend it. It was a lot less intimidating than I expected it to be. It was a lot of fun. And I think I'm going to schedule another stream for Saturday and see if it's more busy and see how hectic it can get. Anyway, everybody, have a great afternoon. Yeah, man, I think that would be awesome too. Virtual air show along with static display. Well, I mean, the static displays, if you go to the SimVenture page and see this guy's doing a departure, taking off, he should be turning to heading of 150 on his departure, and he started his turn well before the tower. The Whitman Tower is over here. So he started. But yeah, I mean, if you go to the SimVenture page, you can download all the scenery, and you can actually just fly this yourself. Come in and see what it looks like, and you don't have to connect to PilotEdge network to have your own experience, although this is working during their trial period. They've got, I think, a 7-hour or 7-day free trial. So you could essentially do this multiple times in that free trial and just kind of play around with it. So if you are interested in giving it a shot, I highly recommend it. Or if you just want to play around with the scenery, go download the scenery and integrate it with X-Plane and come out and take a look. This looks very, very close to what Oshkosh looked like when I was here a couple years ago. No sim air shows that I know of. I'm going to go actually take a look at that and see if there are any. But I have a bunch of footage from when I was at Oshkosh, like the night air show and a couple of other really, really cool things that I'm going to put together and hopefully get on my channel this week. Anyway, once again, everybody, have a great one. The link to the SimVenture page is in the chat window on the stream, so you should be able to just click on that and go take a look. Oh, heck yeah, TWA. The PilotEdge network's awesome. I love it. All right, guys, stream is over. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I hope I see you guys here giving this a shot on Saturday. Make sure you read the NOTAM. It gives you all the information you need so that you're not going to be a pain in somebody else's tail. And also will make you seem more professional. And it gives you kind of a briefing on what to expect. So it's a pretty easy read. Awesome, guys. Have a great one.